But like,
I mean, just washing clothes, or we put it down on 7 to 10.
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's like. They're just almost. It's like 17, 32
Oh.
Yeah. You know,
That's from from last year.
So.
That's clean, so it's just. Over with the care of that.
Biggest one next year. Numbers, yeah, we still, I saw it, they just holding over this year. That airport.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a quote, this is a quote.
I don't know.
So.
They're wanting to do money surrounds and look at it.
So that goes in. But.
It comes out of this year budget. That's what I'm.
But it goes into, so this needs to higher to pay for us.
Right.
Call this meeting to order. If you would please stand and join me in the pledge and flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First business we have is nominations for president and president pro tem. Any nominations for those positions?
Make a nomination for Alan Bullock for president.
These nominations be closed.
I'll second it.
Second.
I'll second. Close.
From properly moved and seconded, nominate Alan Bullock for president. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? A nomination for president pro tem.
Nominate Brian Longbonds to be president pro tem 2026.
Second.
From properly moved and seconded that Brian Longbond serve as president pro tem this year. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? I had a chance to review the December 1st, 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Move for approval. Second.
So properly moved and seconded that we approve the December 1st regular meeting from last year. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Yeah. To begin public comments, that's always a special honor for us as a council to give out the Citizen of the Month award. We do this on a somewhat frequent basis. This is given out for an outstanding citizen within the community that has, shown above and beyond, so to speak, in certain aspects of citizenship and community service and so forth. And as a council, we came together and decided for this month, for the nomination of Chris Voss, if you'd like to share who we decided to.
Yeah, come up here. I don't have all the facts, but the weekend before Thanksgiving, I believe it was, Cale was a passenger riding with his father when an oncoming vehicle crossed the center line and hit him head on. Cale's father was seriously injured. The other driver was seriously injured, and a fire broke out. Cale was able to get his father out of the vehicle, get the other driver out of the vehicle. It was later determined that Cale also had suffered a serious injury. Can I tell him what happened? It was determined that he had a broken back, and yet he was still able to save 2 lives with a broken back. He's being heralded as a hero. He's credited with saving his dad's life as well as the life of the other driver. Cale is one of my students at Hagerstown High School. He's a great student. He's a great athlete, and he's very deserving of the award of Hagerstown Citizen of the Month.
Phil Henderson with Hometown Christmas.
I just kind of wanted to go over this last year's hometown Christmas again. In my books, it went very well. We had a lot of compliments again through the Facebook page and people in person. There is a few things we wanted to kind of ask about for this coming year. We will start our meetings next week, getting ready for 2026. Couple of the asks for this year is maybe the beautiful greenery and lights we have on our poles, possibly extending them maybe down to Speedway and then maybe down to Pearl Street to kind of encompass more than just a couple blocks. I'm sure there's a significant expense to that. I'm not sure what it would be, but it would be nice to see them go a little further if possible. Another thing we encouraged was really no place to plug in lights. We don't have electricity we can plug into except for the trustee's office. And there's a few businesses that have it that we can get it outside, but a lot of places we don't. I don't know if there's any way to get some kind of outlets down through there, offer some poles, even if it's just temporary, to be able to put up their lights. And the last ask was for larger breakers at Miller Park, because it seems like they want to trip a lot. And several of us will go by and see that they're off and stop and trip them back on, so. Let's see, other than that, we had a great group of people. Santa Claus was a hit again this year. We had the same Santa and they were lined up back and across the street here. A lot bigger lines than last year. Janelle said that at the library, they had 135 cookies decorated by children, which was great. We had that many kids come in there and partake in that.
I was almost supposed to buy 100.
All the stores that were open to have, games and activities were very pleased. Spaghetti supper, when I was there that night at the end, they were anticipating that it was bigger than last year, and last year had been their biggest. So I'm hoping when I get the final report, that's the case this year. Parade went off well. I was excited that Santa got to ride on the fire truck. That was nice. Even though we were supposed to have carriages, Santa would ride in. So unfortunately, our carriage ride people did not show up. So Gary was addressing that to get a refund because we would have to pay him part up front. And then is there anything you guys would like to see this next year different than what we're doing so far?
I thought it was great.
Did
Even with,
did everybody get a 10? I know Donnie did, and he drove his tractor. We were very excited. So if there's anything that you would like to see incorporated, we'll be glad to work on it. Just let us know.
Any comments from?
I was very impressed with everything. I thought it was great.
Oh, I did want to tell you as well, for this upcoming year for Jubilee Days. That will be July 31st and August 1st. And then Fall Festival will be October 10th, and Hometown Christmas will be December 5th.
Thank you.
I will back her up on the breakers for the park. Every time we do something over there, we have to jump to it and fix it.
Next up, we have Heart of Hagerstown. Gary?
Heart doesn't really have a whole lot this month. Michelle kind of gave our report on Hometown Christmas. To talk about breakers in Miller Park to beat that dead horse. Mike Beeson and I have already discussed that. So Mike is on board with working on getting that improved for next year and adding some more. We're gonna try to do a walk here before they tear everything down and kind of look at where they've got things and what they need. So kind of look at how they got that. Other than that, I've submitted our annual OPA report. I haven't heard anything back from them. Doubt I will. Usually it's a form letter back that says you need to do better on this and that, and we move on down the road. So other than that's all I have this month for Heart.
Comments? Moving to council action, we have an edit loan request for $50,000. Brian, do you want to speak on that as?
I think, Anton, did you want to share just a little bit what your hopes are, and you can share it better than I can.
Yeah, we'll try. Should about my wife. We actually talked last month about, we've been working with the cafe and trying to update and get ready for food for quite some time now. We kind of got everything in place now that we're gonna be able to start serving food, lunch, breakfast, lunch for us, off with especially lunch. There's a massive need in our community for that. We also have been doing evening food as well with entertainment. We acquired our liquor licenses last year as well to be able to host different events and things like that. We're working with a more Mexican, Hispanic style food. That's gonna be our menu. We have those chicken queso and tacos and things of that nature. So we feel like there's a need in the market for our community. We put a lot of work and effort into getting our building and the equipment to make it happen. So we're at that point now where we're able to move forward and hope it's a great success for the community. That'll provide also opportunities for workers and things like that, more employees for us as well.
You might share with them what investments you've already made into to get ready to open it up.
We've incurred the cost of updating all the equipment and electrical and plumbing, the things to get all the equipment that we need to start this food process, which is a big undertaking. We went ahead and funded that ourselves because, we believe it's a big need in our community. We've been working for quite some years now, but just didn't know exactly which direction we want to go. But after research and product testing, we landed here. And so we're about 90% there. And this last part right here will help us get to opening our doors, start serving lunch and dinners.
When did you secure the liquor license?
I think it might have been, I'm guessing May of 25, I think it was.
As a three-way?
Yeah, you're right. Yes.
You might explain how you're gonna serve that and do.
Absolutely. We are not looking to be a bar of any sort. We want to just serve specialty drinks and things like that to table, not as a bar. Just so some table service and just specialty drinks and more of like we'll have a couple draft beers and a couple specialty drinks. It's margaritas and things like that.
And the entertainment?
Yes, that's the other part. We have a sound system that's put in place as well, so we can do, just small entertainment in front of the building, and you need stuff like that on special occasions. We actually, with Hometown Christmas, we brought in a piano player. He had a disco ball piano, a grand piano, and he played and did Christmas carols. It was a great fit for it.
Do you have a time frame when you hope to be completely operational?
Well, we've been working really, really hard to get there. We're kind of at this point we're probably about a month after we, move forward this last process here. It's more now it's just getting our vendors on track as far as bringing in. Then we want to have a couple of weeks of testing and we're ready to go.
You might ask is, because he's done a little research.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I just asked, right, we've got 4 restaurants on Main Street,
yes.
with freeway licenses now.
Mhm.
What's your as conversation, your research on that, market studies, you've got enough to pull that?
I think so, because again, we're niche, right? We're not looking to compete with well-versed, not really that market. We're really wanting people that want to come in. No difference if you go to the Mexican restaurant in Kansas City and you want to have a margarita. That's kind of our vibe. That's more what we're looking to possibly to do.
So just for town council, they have to fill for an edit, they have to fill out an application and go through that, which he'd filled out that application, and then Alan and Julie and I were here to go through the, and Chris to go through all that application, make sure that it was active. And I think the neat thing is his wife will bring, I think, what we'll say authentic Mexican or Spanish cuisine from her background, from her family. She wants to bring in some family recipes and things like that. So he did meet all the requirements of the application. And so he has done that, and we, as a group, had went through that. We didn't see, Alan, I don't want to misspeak, but I think our recommendation to town council was a recommendation to approve. That doesn't mean town council has to, but that would be our recommendation.
Is this something we could have like a work session over?
We could move it to that for discussion, or if that's the feeling of the council to discuss.
And then what we do with the last edit request? Do we have a work session for that?
There are some stipulations laid out on that request too. I think we need to look at that, make sure we're following
Right.
the protocol that we're trying to set forth on that. That was my thought. We don't have to take up an hour council meeting. We can have a work session for that.
So do you want them here at the work?
I think so. I do, because might have some
Right.
tough questions maybe.
Sure.
Or we need to answer.
Absolutely. Sure. I'm sure you guys reach out, let me know what those, is that a certain date or is there?
I'll let you know.
You'll let
Yeah.
me know. Okay.
We'll try to get it done in this month, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
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 I'm not gonna have one anyway.
Next up, we have resolution number 1, 2026. This is the year-end transfers within the same funds. Julie, do you want to clarify that for us?
Here, yeah.
We also have, so you can look at it, resolution number 2, 2026. This is for the year-end encumbrances. And correct me if I'm wrong, Julie, but you have a packet, right, that has the encumbrances.
Talk about what you want to do. Airport.
Oh, well, are we gonna have these separate fund like we discussed, or we're gonna number
That's why she's looking. So you don't wanna do that next year, or, I mean,
Yeah, we do want to do that. That's why I brought it up at the beginning.
right,
So do we need to encumber if we're doing that?
yeah,
Okay,
and then maybe moving forward,
okay,
we can do.
okay.
Cause you already got, you know.
Yeah.
those-
I forget that what, the two.
Yes, there's
Or the
like,
two of them.
There's two of them.
One for the survey, is that right?
like 13,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. One for concrete.
Yeah, we're putting in concrete walls. Yeah, the one was for the survey.
So is that project done?
No, because it's winter time, they don't want to pour the concrete, we can do it in the spring, that's why I want to cover the funds.
Is that gonna be a legit bid if they're gonna do that in
Yeah.
that frame?
Yep. They've already done 2 pads for us this year, I think, or 1 pad for this year,
Yeah, it has to be,
Hmm.
has to be.
It has to be, we have to
Yes.
encumber that?
Well, no, that amount. Whatever that amount.
Okay.
And then Chris has 50,000 for the MVH, right? So we're gonna take 2025 monies and add it to 2026 so we can get a bigger.
Correct, yeah, if I have $100,000, I can apply for $400,000 NDOT loan, which would be enough money to repave all the streets that we've torn up through the water line project.
And Rick has his list for the fire station.
Correct.
So,
No, I don't, you can ask me, but I don't think so.
The survey thing didn't get paid, right?
No.
That's just a bid to.
Yeah.
Or,
And he planned on doing it, after hunting season, I don't know if he got around to it yet.
and. Why are we doing a survey down there?
So we can harvest the trees and know which ones are ours and which ones are the neighbors, so you don't cut down the wrong ones.
What about a survey?
this. The year in transfers. Yeah, resident in one. Pass that.
Need a motion first. This is the resolution number 1, 2026. This is for the transfer, year-end transfers within the same funds.
So-
Transfer, yeah. Second. It's been properly moved and seconded that we approve resolution number 1, 2026, year-end transfers within the same funds. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Is there any discussion on resolution 2, 2026 for year-end encumbrances? From anything in the packet?
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna ask again, but the money for the surveying, for the trees, to sell the trees. Good for you, that's great, but. What does that money from the trees go back into the airport
Yes.
fund? And Where did this 13,000 come, where's it coming from? Part of their budget,
Leftover.
so it's leftover money that they have to use for this. I'm good.
Okay. I'm gonna make a motion that we accept resolution 2-2027 year-end transfer of funds within funds.
Do I have a second?
Oh, excuse me, that's here, excuse me, okay. Resolutions, after I read it, I knew it was wrong. Resolutions 2-2026 in-year encumbrances for the 2025 budget.
Second.
Proper moved and seconded to approve resolution 2/2026, the year-end encumbrances for 2025. All those in favor, signify by saying aye. All opposed. I assume everybody's had a chance to sign the annual NEPFISM certification forms. I'm sure really gets those back. John, what do you have from your desk for us?
So I'll be meeting with Chris and Julie on Friday, talk through some open issues. And then sent an email out today, did a little research on some requests about revising some job descriptions and exempt versus non-exempt status. So encourage you to take a look at that. I'm sure we'll have some follow-up discussion on those issues as we look to kind of revise some job descriptions. So I think that's not it for this month.
Moving on to reports, parks and recreation.
Next meeting will be next month.
Police department, Keith.
Emailed you guys my monthly call report today. We're down about 20 calls in December, which is always a good thing. But it's also typical for the holidays. So, other than that, that's all that I have.
Fire department, Rick.
Yeah, I give you a report. I'm working on my year-end report, so it's all gonna come in one big report. I did say that let you know that our runs for the year finished at 278, which is up compared to this time last year. So I hope to have that done by the end of the week, and I'll get that to you. I know in December, we hosted the county fire meeting, the last meeting of the year, like we always do down here. We got a vendor that came in, set up his equipment, some of the new stuff out there. And he was a vendor that we've dealt with several years now. He was bought our last truck off of the 5 of our rescue. He warned us that there'll be substantial increases in all of our equipment that we buy this year. They're getting hit with tariff taxes, so they gotta pass it on to us. He said, like, he made a comment about 6.5, the one that the newest truck we have, and what we paid for that. He said if we want to replace it right now, you'd be lucky to touch it for less than $900,000. But, I'm sure, police equipment's going up too. It's just that way everywhere. Even with utility equipment, it's all going. We will continue to hold off on, take care of our equipment till I make it last as long as we can. So I do have to get engine 66 in. It's got an oil leak. Figure out where it's coming from. Well, we were going to use Davis towing and equipment repair over in Strong's going to do the work on it. So that's all I got.
Airport board, Mike.
Not much. You already know about our spring projects. We're gonna skip our January meeting because not much goes on in the winter time. Next meeting will be February 23rd.
Advisory Fund Commission.
We have not had our meeting yet.
Chris, town manager report?
Yep, we have had yet another wastewater backup. This time it was in the basement at 212 North Pearl Street, and that was during the week of Christmas. It was in the location of our water line dig. When the homeowner originally called, we thought that it was clean water backing up into her basement. She did try to drain her lateral. It did go down, but there was water still on the line. She said she thought it could wait till Friday. She called me Friday morning. The water was coming back into her basement. We video recorded at that point. We checked our manholes. Crystal checked our manholes on Tuesday, wasn't it, Crystal? And our manholes were actually showing flow on Tuesday, but by the time Friday came around, it was backing up, going back into her basement. We, at that point, jetted out the sewage lines and the water went down and, pulled in Serve Pro to clean up, the basement. I had a conversation with John about it. Chris, I don't know if you want to add anything to that or not.
I mean, when we went down there Friday morning, it appeared to be clear water. There was no smell to it. And it was clear. As the afternoon went on, it got murky. Like I said, we jetted it at that point. She had Roto-Rooter in, and they found a blockage in her lateral. They marked it in the road. It was before the main. And I think when they healed it, they pushed it out to the end, which then blocked the main. So, everything at this point appears to be okay. So,
Was that on us or the resident?
See, it's a really difficult thing to decide. And I was talking to John about it. I talked to our former town manager about it, Bob too. He was out there since I thought it was a collapse on the water line. The first video recording of the lateral shows water backed up. Bob, was it to 30 foot from where the camera entered?
Right, just outside her house is where it's backed up to.
Which then falls on the resident in that type of scenario, right?
Yeah, depending on where the blockage was. Now, they honestly, where they said the blockage was though, I don't know, Bob and I both thought that they were hitting the line at that point, hitting our line. And because you couldn't see, they couldn't see. So
did you run them roughly there prior to the Roto-Rooter?
No, she had called in Roto-Rooter before she contacted us.
You think they pushed the blockage out into our sewer, whatever was in there?
It's a possibility. I don't know. Like we were saying, even Roto-Rooter's camera footage though, showed water backed up in our line and in her line.
That wouldn't have been on her then, all of it.
It's really hard to determine some of this, because there could be a dam buildup. We've noticed with,
That blockage that was in her line that was all the way out close to the main, right?
correct, or well, if there, yeah, that's
There was a
what
blockage in our line and it backed up and pushed into hers.
it's hard to tell how it's hard. So.
Yeah.
She ended up with a big mess, but she called us on Tuesday. I had them run and check the manhole. It was flowing on Tuesday. She said she thought it could wait till Friday. When she called us Friday, it was definitely backing up the basement. So, yeah, so we're trying to work on that. Unfortunately, we've had slow flow, like I mentioned a couple times in meetings. I put a little thing together there for you to look at. It's kind of like we're having to accommodate modern technology with something that was not designed for modern technology. Our clay pipes and stuff were designed for much greater volume of water than what's in the system right now.
Does that require us to jet them out more or some kind of maintenance program to get that?
Probably should. It changes everything. If you look at the location of her house on Pearl Street, it's downhill from Faith Housing. So it's almost like you're going down a slide from Faith Housing to where it levels out in front of her house. So there's a couple laws of physics at play there. I was reading through this AI generated, and it said with a slope like that, the water is going to push everything all at once. It's going to back up and it's going to slide right on down, and then it's going to kind of stop. It's a very different situation than just a smooth flow through the system.
So it's water's flowing too fast then.
it's damming up behind, behind a pile of, stuff and then shooting it all down. And I know Crystal was talking about, you might even want to share about what that girl told you about whenever she goes on vacation, just a single household.
She's had issues, she had twice, 2 years in a row, after coming back from vacation, with some usage. She ends up with a backup at the end of her line.
And no usage in home.
So there's not enough water to push it out all the way, into our line at that point. So. One thing that we've got to do, and we've been working on this ever since Crystal's been down the wastewater treatment plant, finding people to televise our lines that have a robotic camera that's like a little tractor that goes up the lines that can actually have a camera that pivots and is able to look at each of the laterals on the ends. We have had Cooley do that. It's been probably over 10 years ago, several different places right now. We just did get a call back today from Banning Engineering in Plainfield and Pendleton. And we're going to have them give us a quote on doing a GIS locate on all of our manholes. And then also they said they could sub out camera video recording of the lines between each of the manholes. So that would give us a much better picture of what we're dealing with. So that's one thing we're working on. Crystal, do you have anything else you want to add to that, or? It's just what we're working on. It's a real headache right now. Our water department, the project, on break for 2 weeks in December. The south side is all completed and paved over. Once again, we've had complaints about rocks and gravel getting in yards on the north side. We're having a substantial amount of water loss again, and we've hired leak locators to come back in and search for the leaks. So we'll have another report on that this coming month. Bob, did you have anything you wanted to add about the water line project?
Yes, they are back. They started today on the services coming up Pearl, so they'll work on that one. And then once they're finished with that, we'll move back to the south side to cut off the existing pipelines and finish that end of it. Then they'll work their way back up on the north side to do that same thing. And they are also, most of the equipment is in for the booster stations for the generators, so they'll be starting that work, should be within the month. So that's really all I had.
As far as the payouts for that project, we're right at $1.5 million after the payment that I got today that I signed off on. So that's 1.5 of a $2.9 million project. So we're pretty much 50% through as far as the payment goes. As far as the construction goes, we're a little bit beyond that. Our electric department, thankfully, we didn't have any of the power outages. A lot of our neighbors had some major power outages this past month, and we're fortunate that we did not have that. Been working on getting the holiday decorations down, put some semi-quincentennial banners up. We'll be celebrating our, what will that be, 250th anniversary this coming summer. Streets department, leaf pickup is down. New sign I put up at the cemetery, street signs. The line poles are being created by the water project. The company's doing that most of the time, but we had to do some in December. And I mentioned earlier, working on quotes from Milestone about repaving. And I think that's all I have there. If you have any questions?
Bob, were we able to secure we needed a grant, or not a grant, a permit for the booster station from NDOT, correct?
Yes.
Were we able to get that?
Yes.
Okay. Other comments, questions? Julie, what do you have from your desk for us?
And the cancellation of warrants, outstanding checks, which should be up there somewhere. I always ask this every year. Don't they have to make a
You
motion?
do have to approve it, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to.
Essentially void those checks or the warrants.
Like 4,200.
I kept it. Sorry.
So we need that, approved. And then we have the Edward Jones match up to 3% for all our full-time employees, we need that approved. And then also the perf rate is still up 11.3%. We need that approved also, and then invoices things on my part. You should all have copies of those.
Start with the cancellation of warrants and outstanding checks. I think everybody's had a chance to see it.
Move to approve. Second.
The proper moved and seconded to approve cancellation of warrants and outstanding checks. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed. Edward Jones match of up to 3% for full-time employees and the perf rate of 11.2%. Any discussion on that?
Perf rate an increase.
Sorry.
This person increase, is that the same?
Yeah, it's been the same.
Can you explain that 3%, what that is exactly? That Edward Jones thing.
Right,
Can you
they
explain
can put, the town will match up to 3% twice a year. And that's just, they can put in however much they want to, how many percent each pay period, and then the council, if it's up to 3%, will match it or up to 3%.
I just knew it was. Thank you. Move to approve both.
Second.
So proper moved and seconded to approve the Edward Jones match of up to 3% for all participating full-time employees and the perf rate of 11.2%. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed. And we should have the packet of the water project invoices. We'll have the one there from Klein Peter Consulting for 10,000. For Warren Engineering for 5,050. And the Earthworks for $354,098.25. Any discussion on those invoices?
Bob, you signed off on the one from Earthworks, everything looks good to you?
Yes.
Fine, Peter, is this just something that we paid half last year and half this year?
I sent an email to him because I forget how much. And I didn't hear back how much. So we've already paid him 5,000.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what this,
He never responded.
so the second voice is for grant administration. I guess they just billed us over 2 years because this stuff's done, building project out, attending bid meetings, attending.
Well, I still email them everything, all the invoices and the checks, like they're keeping a.
Oh, you are?
Okay, yes.
Oh, okay.
Part of that.
Yeah.
Approved for
Is that for a month?
Mhm.
Okay.
But like I said, I can't remember how much they charged. But the last one was like 5,000. That was 4 or 5 months ago. And there's still Okra money to be dispersed.
That has to be out this year.
Um,
I don't remember either.
But we haven't used it.
So do we have enough money in that to cover the 10,000?
Well, I think it's the local, it's our So. Loan money,
Pardon? I said that again, I'm sorry, Julie.
their loan money, it's the money, their bond. money.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So,
Which
yeah,
he'll tell me where it needs to come out of. but I'm-
oh, okay, oh,
And this was, I mean, this was all part of that when we,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
we called this formality at this point to approve it for that.
I'll make a motion that we approve the invoices from Bob Warner, Earthworks, and Klein Fitter Consulting Group.
We properly moved and seconded to review the invoices for the water projects for this month. Bob Warner, Earthworks, and Klein Peter Consulting Group, as outlined. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Next regular council meeting will be Monday, February 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Town Hall will be closed Monday, January 19th of this month to observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Everybody had a chance to review the claims as presented.
move to approve.
Second.
So properly moved and seconded that we accept claims as presented. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed.